Batman Gotham City Racer for the PlayStation 1 from Ubisoft. Back when Ubisoft was good. Sorry, Ubisoft. Back when Batman was good. I mean, Batman's always good. But this poor little guy is filthy. Hit the streets of Gotham City with all pistons blazing as you control the sleek machines of Gotham's greatest heroes and most dreaded supervillains. We're cleaning a PlayStation 1 jewel case today. Let's go. I enjoy people that tell me that they just swap cases on PlayStation 1 games because it's easier. It is easier, absolutely. But one day, we might not have jewel cases. And then what'll happen? We won't have any jewel cases. We won't have Firefly. We won't have any jewel things at all. And what are we going to do then? These are actually fairly easy to clean, especially when it's a sticker on the front like that, especially when it's some dirt on the sides like that. This is actually really easy to clean. If you have this kind of a sticker on here, don't worry, super easy to clean. The trick is, these acrylic cases are a couple of things. 1, temperamental. 2, temperamental. They break easily. If you have any aggressive chemicals, any acetones or anything on it, thing will shadow up, haze up, phase up, do terrible things, ruin the whole thing. But that doesn't mean that these stickers are impossible, to remove. You're probably guessing what I'm going to use anyway, and you're probably right. But I want to show you some things you can do to make it a little bit easier. First and foremost, we will strip everything out. Let me back up a bit. So there's these 2 little retention ridges that keep the manual in there. And what a lot of people would do is just kind of push until it jumped over the ridges. You don't want to do that, okay? You want to make sure that it's going to come out nice and easy. Sometimes you could flip it upside down and it would slide out like that. Other times it wouldn't work like that. So we take our famous gift card, pinch the center here, lift this out. Hey, that seems excessive. Yeah, it probably is, but when you're dealing with such a gem as Gotham City Racers, or anything like that, just a little ounce of prevention's not going to hurt anything. It does not hurt to just take one little extra step to make sure that you get the manual out all nice and clean. Same thing with this. You're going to lift, pushing down on one side, lifting on the other side, and you'll notice that there's a little track in there. That's actually where these little critters slide in and out. So as you lift, if you push backwards, you'll clear that edge. One more again at speed. Ready? Nice and closed. Open it up, push down. I'm gonna push backwards with this hand, and I'm gonna push down with my right hand, and the thing comes out just fine. If you break these, it's not a big deal. You're gonna break some of these. Might as well get used to it, kid. So we take our disc out. How's the disc look? Hey, that don't look half bad. And we'll put that in a nice safe place. Put this over here. Gift card on standby. Now the center case. This is so much easier to do, not in gloves. There we go. The trick here is you want to be able to get, if you have gloves, it kind of makes it difficult to get under there. You can use a peeler, one of the plastic peelers. You can use a spudger, whatever else you want to pop off that back. And then you just want to make sure that you don't force anything. So you see there, I'm pulling down on this side, and that's getting the back panel off. Nice and crispy and clean. You don't want to twist these acrylics. You don't want to go in any weird ways or directions or anything. You want to just kind of go the normal way. If you twist, that's when you're going to start to get breaks. If you force it, that's when you're going to start to get breaks. This is fairly pliable, okay? Tom Brady in his prime, you know, it's pliable. So you can give it a little bit of a flex, but just remember that as you're giving a little bit of a flex, you have to let it go back into its original state. which this one's original state is California. What do you know? We'll take this little guy, Crispy. Take that little guy, put him over there. And we are left with 3 little pieces of the jewel case. It's about what we wanted. These 2 look good, but what we're gonna do, after I make some room over here, is we're gonna give everything a clean. A lot of different ways you can clean this. You can clean this by filling up a sink with soapy water and dumping everything in there, and then taking everything out and giving it a scrub with a toothbrush, a cloth, paintbrush, old shirt, whatever you would want. I prefer this method of cleaning by hand because I can drop it on myself by cleaning by hand, because it helps me to look at all the corners and the edges and inspect everything. If I did run across any cracks or anything, then I would know that I can replace that. But this is looking pretty clear. Now, we're not gonna do anything crazy where we're adding shine to it or anything. If this was something that was gonna be photographed, what we would do is clean it a little bit different, and we would add some temporary things to it to make it nice and shiny. So this is that centerpiece where the disc actually fits in. The big thing that you wanna focus on cleaning is this center ridge right here. Okay, so that's actually something that is facing out to the world at all times. You wanna clean that, you wanna clean this edge, wipe on all the edges, wipe where the disc goes, clean all the sides, looking so nice. If you use a cloth instead of paper towels, you'll end up with less lint, but at the same time, you don't get as much material or as much liquid as you go. I'm like inspecting it and trying to talk at the same time. Good planning on my part. This might be swapped because this actually does not look the same age as the front and back. Normal, that's okay. So same thing on this side, but since we got some edges and ledges and canyons, valleys, and grooves, what we're gonna do is spray our towel again. We're gonna coat heavily into all the corners. Then we're just gonna take our brush and agitate. Even if you don't see foaming, you should be able to hear it. And you'll see a couple of bubbles here and there. See how that's popping up on the end there? That's what you want. You just want the toothbrush to get into all the little corners. Make sure you turn it in all the different ways. Let me go back in, wipe everything. And then you can see right there. Gross, right? It happens. So soak the towel again. And this is the only time where realistically doing this in a big tub or a sink or something would have a little bit more benefit, because then you can soak this whole area. You can soak this whole area and really get in there good with a brush. But this also works. So go in with your brush, clean on both sides. My video stopped and I was just sitting there cleaning, talking to myself. I didn't realize the camera had stopped. But realistically, what all did you miss? Probably not that much. We cleaned the front, we cleaned the back. We talked about, can you remove scratches from acrylic cases? You can. Is it worth it? Not really. So we will do the front now. Not gonna worry about the sticker just yet. It'll be fun, when I go back to edit this, it'll be fun to see like when it stopped and how long I was just sitting here just talking to myself. Which realistically is actually basically what I did for the last 20 years. I don't know. Oh, we got a crack. So that might have been there before. It's not super visible, but there's that cat hair. Hi folks, welcome to the new game, Cat or cat hair or crack. In today's game, we will try to decide if that is a crack or a cat hair. Could be both, could be neither. But the concept is basically the same. Clean all the sides and edges. Get in there with the toothbrush and agitate. Get this side. That side. We'll get under the ridges. And then same thing. Now I got to keep checking to make sure that it's still recording. If there was anything important that was missed, I'll be sure to ramble about it later. And just go in every direction, vary your directions, up and down, left and right, at an angle. You can push on the side of the toothbrush, and that'll get a little bit more of a stiffer brush. You can also switch brushes if you want to. Clean that side, we clean this side. We'll soak up this side. I don't know how much of it is showing up on the camera, but it is definitely showing up on here when we get more liquid on there. Cool. Okay, and you'll notice that as we did that, the sticker became a little more translucent, which is good. That's what we want. So we're gonna go in here. We're just gonna try to poke a little bit at the sticker to see what it'll do. Take a little bit more of the all-purpose cleaner. We're just gonna soak the sticker. It's a paper-based sticker, which means that it should, just by becoming damp, release itself a little bit. Is it gonna be released enough to get rid of the residue? Probably not. Is it gonna be released enough so that we can at least pull up the paper and just deal directly with the residue? Probably. And this is what I mean, is that I think this is so much better to just come in here and physically remove as much of the material as you can with no chemicals, well, cleaning chemicals, but with no harsh chemicals, no acetones, no GooGones, no heptanes or anything. And try to get up as much of this grime as you can, because that's going to give whatever the cleaning chemical is that we use a better chance to do its job. Okay? So, heptane. Heptane and scrape. You'll notice I'm not doing the whole thing. Why? Because I want to show you guys something. So we got one side that was cleaned. I guess I could zoom in. One side that was cleaned with heptane, and we'll get this side real nice and shiny. All nice and clean. And adhesive removed. Okay. So you see that? So we still have this one little corner on here. And this is where I say don't mix your chemicals. Do as I say, not as I do. But since this is instructional, I heard a pop. But since this is instructional, I want to make sure that you guys understand what we can do here. So, got this 1/2 of the sticker residue that's still there that hasn't been cleaned yet. Let me show you. My precarious bottle of GooGone with a lid that's all weird. That's not childproof at all. I could just take the lid right off. So we still got the one little bit right there. We're gonna clean this one side with GooGone because I want to show you guys that you can do that as well. Sometimes these jewel cases will haze if you put GooGone on there. But most of the time, honestly, it's okay. I say that it'll haze sometimes. It does that more with polyethylene than anything else. It shouldn't with this. Why do I not know? Well, the age of the plastic has a lot to do with how it's going to react to the petroleum glycol in GooGone. So I can't say for certain what GooGone is going to do to older plastic. Has it been exposed to UV? Did someone wipe it off with alcohol? What happened? I don't know. So as we apply the GooGone, and again, do not mix chemicals. If you're going to do this, either do it with Heptane or GooGone. But as we add the GooGone, we're just going to watch what it does. I'm going to bring it up way too close to my face. And you'll notice that it's also pretty dang clean. Both of these methods will work. Your GooGone, preferably with a good lid, your Heptane, okay? You're gonna get the same kind of result on here. We're gonna wipe it off, a little all-purpose cleaner onto the cloth. Just make sure that we get rid of everything nice and clean and dry. Gonna get real up close to it. And so there you go. It's your window to clean games. So, still a little bit of smudging right there. Also, a thing that you can't see that I keep doing is wafting the paper towels near me to figure out which one has which. Don't do that either. That's also very not smart. But I know that between these two, one had GooGone and one had all-purpose cleaner. So I know if I smell clementine, it's the all-purpose cleaner. If I smell citrus, wait. This really doesn't smell as citrusy as this cleaner does, though. Anywho, we got that all cleaned. Zoom back out. Gonna check it to make sure we didn't miss any spots. There is still that crack in the center. Can you reseal these cracks? Yes. Can you prevent the crack from getting worse? Yes. Could you just replace this outer case? Also, yes, that too. But I want to show you why I'm not going to worry too much about it. So this is all nice and dry and clean. These were all sitting on a towel, so I don't have to worry about it. That little bad boy in there. That little bad boy in there. These little pegs are what retains it. So there's a tab, and then these little, which you probably already know this, but there's a couple little indentations in here that hold it together. So as you go around, just press down on each of the corners to make sure it's all nice and good. We'll take our disc that is also looking so nice. We'll take our outside piece, goes in the same way. So one side, see if I can do this upside down. One side is gonna get planted into that hole, and then the other side, so we're gonna do it on the bottom, and you can see it lining up. You can see it lining up there. That. So that's secured on there. And then this one we just gently lift up on the side and then slide it in on that track. See a little track? So drop that on there, push that on the track. You won't get those hinges broken. Amazing. And then this little sheet, I like to do this so that I'm not pushing on anything or forcing anything in. Drop that in on there. I didn't do a beginning picture on this one either. I did 4 videos today, and none of them I did before and after pictures. I got fantastic after pictures, that's for sure. Zoom. Can you see the crack? You probably still can see the crack. Maybe. If not, it's right there. But is it enough to justify swapping the front? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. That top corner's all nice and clean. We got rid of the residue. The edges are all nice and clean. If you look at it again and you see that there is some smudging, take a clean brush and just brush out any of the paper towel residue or any of the cleaning residue. That's all coming up nice and dry. Same thing on this side. That's all coming up nice and dry. Ta-da. Do a few more of these. I got a big old stack PlayStation 1 games that have stickers on them. Tools we use: Heptane, all-purpose cleaner, and this is one of those where you can use Heptane or GooGone, whichever one you're comfortable with. If you're brand new starting off, feel free to use GooGone if you're not comfortable with using Heptane yet, or if you can't get Heptane in your country. If you can't get this kind of GooGone in your country, most adhesive removers will work. The thing you want to look for is if it has acetone in it. I know that GooGone doesn't have acetone in it. I'm trying to figure out how to explain this without being very broad and inaccurate. If an adhesive remover has acetone, there is the likelihood that it will say danger flammable. That's not always 110% the case, but if you have an adhesive remover that says flammable, or if you have an adhesive remover that smells really sharp, potentially that means that it has acetone in it. But it depends. There's a big old, I'm gonna put it depends on the bottom there. It really, really depends. So if you have an adhesive remover that you use, or that you have one in your house or something, and you're not sure about what is in it, drop a comment down below and let me know what it is, and then I'll help you figure out if it does have acetone or if it does not. The reason I bring up if it has acetone or if it does not, it is very common with commercial adhesive removers that they'll have acetone. It's, you can remove paint, you can remove all kinds of nonsense stuff, but that's the big thing, is you want to make sure it doesn't have acetone. So we used paper towels, we used a little Scotty peeler, plastic one, GooGone, or Heptane. So it's either this one or this one. You can't do both, okay? And then an all-purpose cleaner and my toothbrush, wherever that thing ran off to. So that's it. Like I said, these are easy to do. Don't worry about the stickers on the front. And honestly, if you get a bunch of PlayStation 1 games, you're like, I'll just replace the covers, or I'll just replace the jewel case fronts. It's more and more difficult to find good, snappy jewel cases. So I try to clean them whenever I can, just because. The big thing is take all your cover arts, take all your pieces of paper, your discs, your everything, take it all out, completely dismantle it, completely strip it down, soak it, and most of the time those stickers will come off. Again, this is another it depends, but most of the time, it depends. The stickers that were getting put on PlayStation 1 games back in the day, and even somewhat back when like PlayStation 3 was still coming out and everything, most of the stickers that were on here from way back were paper-based, which means that if you get them wet and saturate them, they'll come off pretty easy. Again, it depends. If you are not sure about the cleaner that is in your house, like I said, drop a comment. We'll figure out what's in it. We'll get it all nice and clean. Also, this is a fun game. I have not played this game in forever. Live Batman's world through 51 episode-based missions with real cutscenes from the TV show. Who says I'm illiterate? We're going to do a bunch more of these. Don't worry about cleaning up jewel cases. It's something that's very easy to do, that you can absolutely do. I have every confidence in you. Why do we clean these? Because it's another thing that we can do that takes a little bit amount of time. This took not very long at all. And and I didn't have to go online and find a jewel case, have 10 of them show up broken. I bought, this was ages ago, but I bought 50 jewel cases, replacement ones. I was going to swap out all the games, and they showed up, and 50 of them were broken. So I try to not buy too many jewel cases from online because you never know. Got the money back and everything, but that's not the point. Until next time, we're going to do a bunch more PlayStation 1 games. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to ask in the comments. I try to respond to every single question whenever possible. Also, you can find me on Discord. You can find me on Twitch. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, wherever else. If you do have any questions, please let me know. If you have any suggestions, please let me know. If you have a way that you like to clean games, please let me know that too. I would love to make a video out of it, especially things like PlayStation 1 jewel cases. If there's a method that you like, let me know that one too. Until next time, I have so much more to clean. So I'm going to keep cleaning. All right. See you guys.